This is an Ellis Mowers and More small engine vlog. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's vlog, we are going to do what I'm probably going to start doing at the end of every year on an annual basis. I'm going to do an inventory of every single machine that I have here in stock in the yard, where I got them, what I think's wrong with them, what I'm planning to do with them. We'll see what it all comes about here in this video. You've noticed by the length of this video that we have a lot of machines to cover. So I have all of these right here. Stuff in the garage, excuse me. Stuff in the lean-to, and then stuff kind of in a little tent canopy back there in the backyard. So in this video, hopefully y'all enjoy it. I see a lot of other YouTubers do like a year-end wrap-up of either things that they've worked on or items that they have accumulated and own, especially on the car side. And I figured, why not on the mower side? Let's go ahead and show you a starting point for 2024, an ending point for 2023, and then when we revisit next year this time, let's see how the scenery changes out here. Every year it's been getting more and more and more. I'm trying to work on getting it less and less. Don't know how successful I'm going to be. So to start off, I just want to say thank you all very much for all the support here in 2023. Went full-time with this in August. August was the transition month, but September, October, and even November, we were really kicking it here. Definitely above my expectations as to what I was able to pull in money-wise, especially, but also the work and whatnot I was able to accomplish in those 3 months. December did not expect to be a really big month just because of the time of year, but we did sell a few machines in December, more than I've ever sold this time of year, and we'll see what comes in 2024. I bet come March and April I'm going to be crazy busy. So my goal is to get as many of these items fixed as I can before the spring. That way I have a good inventory ready to go once the grass starts growing and people need some machines. So let's start in the back and we will see what all of the projects that we have either completed and ready to go already for the spring, or what we have to work on. And there's a lot of them. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. So we'll start here under the tent. I do have a few machines ready to go, and I'll just tell you the stories behind them as I can remember them. The first thing in the front here is just this Craftsman wood chipper with the Tecums on it. It either has a bent chipper plate, that really heavy device that spins around, or a bent shaft. I'm not sure which. It's been sitting outside now for a couple years. It did fire and run when I had it, or when I first got it originally, but it vibrated really, really bad, and just time has not allowed me to get to this. I've had, you know, bigger projects. We may see if we can pull this out and get it going at some point, but for now it's kind of locked in place, so I probably won't have to pull the head, and there probably is a rust ridge on the engine. So yeah, so that's the first item. We're going to move on to this Husqvarna YTH 2348 next. This I got, I should know this, a trade-in for a I sold a Troy-built Bronco rider. I got this as a trade-in, and it was on the brink. It was ready to have a lot of issues. Had to do a lot of resolving with those issues that y'all saw on the channel. One thing I may do before the spring is paint the deck black to make it look a little more aesthetically pleasing. It just has primer on it right now. I have it listed for $800. It has a little over 600 hours on it, and just have to be, you know, mindful. And it looks like I may have to tighten that oil drain a little bit, because I think we've got a little bit of maybe some old oil leakage there. Actually might be. It's been sitting back here for a couple weeks, so it may just be drizzling down a little bit. I don't necessarily see a puddle on the ground, but let me actually double check here real quick. I don't see a puddle on the ground, and I did tighten that back up. This one's got the hydrostatic and the 23 horsepower Briggs V twin on it. This, I don't think y'all seen on the channel yet, but remember that Cub Cadet LTX 1040 that I sold? Well, I had to do the same thing to this. Had a cracked Kohler Courage block. I've had this mower almost 2 years now. Finally pulled it out. And we've got, looks like just a tiny bit of seepage here, but I have ran this actually for over 3 hours since I have fixed this mower, doing leaf pickup and work along those lines, and it is holding steady. So I feel more confident about selling it. Probably going to sell it with this bagger, which I found off of another machine that I had. So you'll see this video coming up on the channel. I think a couple years ago I sold a Murray riding mower and did like a 2-for-1 deal. I got a Poland Pro and I got this for a Murray rider. This, if you've been looking on the channel for the past 3 years or so, I've had this machine for a while. Finally got it sorted after the mistakes that I have made on it. I did make a video on it and got it back into good working order. Got it running again. Fixed the drive system on it to the best of my ability, because stupid me cut the park and brake bracket and stuff off, and kept slipping the drive belt. I have cut the entire yard with this, actually twice, and everything's good on it, belt wise, blade wise, drive wise, running wise now. So it's going to make a good cheap 46-inch cut machine for somebody. This is the one I put the LED lights in as well. Moving on. John Deere LX 266 here. This is the newest machine of the bunch of 4 John Deeres that I bought just up the road here earlier this month, and just needed a little bit of encouragement to start and run again. Didn't have to clean the carburetor or anything. Just had to weld a deck bracket, put new blades on it, put a discharge sheet on it, and charge the battery. The battery was even good in it, so that's a good thing. This, again, unfortunately does not have the hood to it, but should bring $400 to $500 in its state. It's got 1,100 hours, runs and drives great. And I paid $200 for the lot, so this alone right here will at least double my money. This machine, somebody asked for a hauler machine. I think you're going to see this on the channel here in January. I made a video on that, or this one as well. We may end up putting a deck on it. Does not have a hood on it. Runs good, drives fine, and all the tires hold air. Steers good. Couldn't really ask for much better. Had a new carburetor on it when I got it, so just had to put fuel lines and stuff on it and just kind of freshen it up. Had to work on the drive a little bit there. This is one of the Craftsman LT 2000s that I got as a trade. I sold the guy 2 Cub Cadet string trimmers that I got at a yard sale. He wanted both of them. One of them smoked a little bit, the other one ran great. Got these, I think, did he give me $50 as part of a trade? So I got another LT 2000. That one's actually mostly complete. It's missing, I think, the blading gauge. It's got the 17.5 horsepower Kohler Command Pro. Honestly, hard to beat one of these machines. Fixed one up for my grandpa about 8 years ago. Something happened with the engine on that thing, but it wasn't treated very well before I got it. So something got tight in the engine on that machine. Put another engine on it. He's been cruising along with it ever since. And so yeah, so that's really good. This Honda is one, what is this, an HRT 216? Yes. So eventually the people that I got this from would like for me to fix it and get it back to them. I don't know the timetable on it, because I believe it has a valve seat issue, and it's not like one of these that you take the heads off. You have to basically take the whole entire motor apart to get to that. It does run, albeit very terribly, but we'll see if I get around to that. They have a good working Craftsman self-propel push mower for now, and we may do a swap deal or whatnot if I can get this back going again. I know the wheels are pretty worn, but it does run. Just runs very poorly, and it acts like it doesn't have, like one of the valves isn't seating right. This HR215 came with that same lot. This was the lot that I got a bunch of free stuff for fixing that John Deere RX-75 rear engine rider. This machine actually ran, but it has a massive leak at the oil seal on the bottom of the engine. If I put an oil seal on it, I got all the parts to put it all back together. Might be a halfway decent machine, although the wheels are kind of rough on it too. So just kind of what can I get to, you know, because I know customer repairs are going to start rolling in here before long. This Troy built, I sold this is kind of a memory test for me. Sold a snapper and got got this plus a few other items, including that wood chipper there. That was it was a pretty bad trade, honestly. Didn't really make my money back on that. I think I did sell a couple of items in that lot. I think it was a blower in there that I sold. So I if I got that back going again, which probably won't take a ton of effort, I'd probably end up breaking even on the lot, but didn't really turn out very well. These two I'd love to get to sometime soon. These are the two John Deere 14 SB push mowers I got in a huge 30 plus push mower lot, probably pushing 3 years ago now, at least 2, because I was out of push mowers and just haven't got to them. Love to get them fixed. Some of the cables are a little frozen on one. I think the one that actually doesn't have the pull rope on it has the good cables, and these are kind of frozen. We may be able to free them back up. I don't know how much it would cost to get cables on this, but these would actually be fairly nice mowers once I would get them fixed. So we'll see if they come up. I do want to clear out some of my push mower inventory and turn that push mower inventory around this year. So that's everything kind of under this tent canopy. Real briefly, I'll kind of show you my little junk pile here, and then we'll move on to everything else in the backyard. I'm trying to keep this as timely as possible, but just various. I have it kind of sorted here, and I put it under this big holly tree because this holly tree actually retains a lot of water and whatnot, so it's not gonna get these terribly wet. You know, I just got an assortment of hoods, a few decks, and things along those lines. A lot of common parts for riding mowers that I could potentially use here that would work. So like I could probably take one of these MTD decks and put it on that middle MTD mower right there. I may try that one day after I get a couple more things done. So now we'll go ahead and move on to everything here in the backyard, and then we'll do the lean-to in the garage. Won't spend a lot of time on these push mowers. Most of them I got in that same lot of 30 that I got those John Deere 14 SB mowers from. Most of them are going to just need like pull ropes, carbs, and then it's like in this case taking the self-propel off. They'll just be nice cheap mowers. That one I think has an engine issue with a valve or a push rod or something like that. That's not good. And a lot of these right here are like the old school Tecumsehs, which I don't know where to find like rebuild kits and primer bulbs and things along those lines for, because they're mostly all these are basically complete. That one's missing an air filter cover, but they're all mostly complete. I just don't know how to source the parts for them, and they're in fairly decent shape. They'll be good cheap push mowers for somebody. Got an old snapper with the Tecumseh again, same kind of deal there. got, carburetor, got to sort out carburetor stuff and whatnot with them. And those old Tecumsehs with those kind of push primer bulbs instead of them ones that are red and that you press, a little bit difficult to source. This is a Troy built self-propel that's got the overhead valve Tecumseh, so that's kind of an interesting find. Old school overhead valve Tecumseh, and then just various stuff that'll probably get scrapped, or maybe that one will get scrapped. I don't know if I can piece something together. You never know. I do occasional mower clean out. Done some riders that I've cleaned out here recently, but not a ton of push mowers. I'm gonna fix what I can push mower wise, and then probably just scrap the rest and find me another big lot, hopefully after I clean out some of this stuff. These are some of the early mowers that I got, and I don't remember how I got a couple of these, honestly. I don't know about I can't remember the story behind the two Murrays here. I do know the story behind the Toro. Pretty sure this is a complete mower. I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet. It's just been sitting here. 12.5 horsepower, 40-inch cut Murray. Everything's there. Air filter cover's off of it. Oh, I think the air filter cover was off when I got it, and the engine stuck. So again, that's probably pull ahead, clean out the cylinder of rust, things along those lines. Now this Toro LX427 has got the same issue going on that the Troy built Super Bronco does. It has a cracked block on the Kohler engine. This one actually has a hydro with the pedal drive, so this is kind of almost like a Cub Cadetish type machine. I have had this mower probably, wow, 3 years now, every bit of it, and just have not pulled it out to work on because it was missing a couple parts underneath. I got this, I sold a Craftsman YS 4500 that had just a deck that was completely eaten out on it, or maybe it have been a YS 3500. 42-inch deck completely eaten out on it. I got this, and then I got that Murray garden tractor that was chilling back here for a while. Ended up selling that for basically the engine for 50 bucks, but had them take the whole tractor because all the pulleys and mess were frozen up on it, even though it was a complete tractor. I just wasn't interested in messing with it. So they took the opposed twin, and I think they're going to build something out of it. And again, that red Murray is just a smaller version. It's a 38-inch cut. Unfortunately, during an ice storm a couple years ago, the steering wheel got knocked off of it. So I do have to pull this, pull it out of the weeds and whatnot here. Crazy. This was my great uncle's Murray. It had been parked for a long time before I even got it, and it's just been sitting here since. I took the front lens off of it, and I think I've taken maybe a couple other small parts off of it. We'll see if I can get them pulled out, but again, when you get 30 machines, it takes a while to get to some of them. It's unfortunate because I love to fix everything, but I can't. This mower may get scrapped. I got this in a trade deal a while back. I think this is the one I sold a backpack blower, and the guy gave me like 5 partial lawn tractors, which is nice. This is a 48-inch deck I got from a lot of items that I picked up at some point here fairly recently. May have been actually part of this lot, not completely sure. This yard machine's 46 inches. I think everything except for an engine, it would need a V-twin or a high horsepower single. Don't have the seat for it, but I've got plenty of parts I can source for it if I need to find a seat. If I ever do get it fixed, this one may just get scrapped. I don't know. We'll see. Change batteries because we're getting kind of low here. We'll show you, these are some just Craftsman and MTD 42-inch and 38-inch mower decks that are just waiting for machines to get put on. Again, if I get a trade-in that just needs a deck, runs and drives good, and has a rotted out deck, these things are sitting here ready to go. Some of them may just need bearings and pulleys greased or something along those lines. Again, same thing for hoods and stuff in the back. I don't try and hoard a bunch of mower parts, but I do try and keep the common ones on hand, so that when there may just be something that maybe needs a deck or needs a hood that makes it look a little bit better, we're in good shape when it comes to that. So now we'll start on this side of the items that I've potentially gotten more recently here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll start over here in the driveway. So that's a go-kart that I'm waiting on a brake shoe. This is just, I think, 1 or 2 customer repairs currently in right now. I'm not really a go-kart person, but just needed to get running better and fix the brakes on it. I was like, sure, bring it on in. It's a little bit quiet right now. Only other thing I got in here is a blower, actually, and everything else is basically taken care of for all the customers right now, which is great. John Deere 160, y'all saw the super clean video where I cleaned this up. Fairly complete from what I can tell. Looks like it may need a little bit of deck work with it, and you know, just general freeing things up and getting things moving again after it's sat a while. So hopefully we'll see if we can get this one done before spring. I'm gonna be trying to hit these riders hard, especially come about mid-January all the way up until March. I do have a goal of getting a dozen ready. I think I had about 5 or 6 that I got ready in just December alone, or about 5, I think. This is the John Deere LT150. I went and picked that up. It was free, about 20 some minutes away from somebody I used to go to church with. They were cleaning out their mom's house that had been abandoned for about 7 years because she had been in an assisted living facility, I believe. I pulled this out from the tent back there in the back because I want to get this one done before spring. Love these John Deeres because usually when you fix them, they don't come back because they don't have problems. So that's nice. And the seat's in good shape. The hood is in decent shape considering that it sat outside for 7 years. I'm surprised it even has a hood on it. And we'll see, you know, everything's frozen on this thing, but it's got a single cylinder Kohler. The hydro transmission's responsive whenever I push the pedals. So, and it's all there, save for the front deck bracket, which I stole, put on an LT133 that had that wood hood on it. This is a Troy-built tiller that was given to me. The Tecumseh engine is locked up on it currently from where it has sat for so long. I need to move it out of the driveway. It's just a little bit cumbersome to move because it has a flat tire. And, but it has electric start on it. So that might be, if we pull out and get a couple tillers ready this year, that might be one that we try. We'll get into the garage in just a second. If y'all see that yellow thing, I have a story behind that. There's a deck for it that will be revealed more so in January. So this is a second LT2000 that I got on a trade for selling those 2 Cub Cadet string trimmers that I got from the yard sale. This one did not come with an engine, but the guy actually gave me an engine to put on it that was on another Craftsman that they were going to turn into like a race mower or something. So it's got an engine for it, mostly complete. This one's in fairly good shape too. And again, we'll hopefully get to this one before spring as well. I'm trying to pick out the things that I want to get fixed. You know, like I've already done a few MTDs, but we got this Craftsman and then this STX 46 John Deere, which is the 3rd of the 4th of the $200 lot of John Deere machines that I got. It's got the 14 horsepower Kohler Command on it. It did not have any oil. It looked like it had leaked it all out or something because I think this thing had sat for a while. But I did take this cover off, and when I spun the nut here with like a 1/2-inch ratchet, it did free up. So I'm wondering if this is not going to really need all that much to get back going again. Again, with no hood on it, this one's probably going to fetch maybe $400. With the 46-inch deck, it may, you know, yield a decent amount, just because of the cut of the machine. Had to pause to sneeze, sorry. These are 2 snappers. I have baggers for both of these. This came in the lot of items that I got in exchange for fixing the John Deere RX-75 mower. They are complete. I'm trying to sell the baggers separately. I have them listed for $100 a piece just because they're complete, although they do need bags. If I do get these fixed and I still have the baggers, I'll slap the baggers on. One of them I think has an 8 horse and the other one has a 10 horse. This one's got 10 and it's a 30-inch deck, but it's got the little square type deck on it. Wheels are in rough shape, but tire tubes can fix that, right? Well, and new tires, new tire and wheels. The fronts aren't too bad. If I get these fixed, they may bring $250 to $300. Just be nice, cheap rider. People do love these old snappers, especially if they are fully functional. Some people will restore these as well. You never know. I may throw a can of red and white spray paint on this just to make it look nice. This is a 28-inch with 8 horsepower Briggs. He put the John Deere seat on it because the seat was probably trashed on the other one. And I had another RX-75 seat that was slightly better than this one, which stayed with that mower. Now, a few of these others are basically just got dropped off or were freebies. The ones remaining in the driveway here. This is a Cub Cadet 1525. I actually hooked up a jumper pack to this last week. It does turn over. The guy did say that the engine is not right, smoking or something along those lines when it was running and driving. However, everything is complete. It's got the deck, the electric PTO, and all that good stuff on it. So, depending on how bad it runs, this may be a candidate to actually get fixed, because these Cub Cadets of this era, the Kawasaki's and stuff on it, fairly decent machines, in all honesty. And the seats, fairly decent. This one would actually clean up to be a somewhat nice machine, I would think. So we'll see if... Then this one literally just got dropped off at the house not long after I went full-time with this. It just is difficult to move, and so it's still sitting right here. This is an old MTD Gold series, probably early 90s. She's a little rough, but complete. 12.5 horsepower Briggs. Sitting in the backyard of somebody's house. He'd had it for a little while, trying to clean it out. I was there to pick up that John Deere L110 and a couple other things, and so we got this all out. Who knows? We might revive a cheap mower for somebody, depending on if we have time. That's what the luxury of time is. I should be able to get to more of these. Obviously not all of them. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to have all these fixed this year. I know that. They probably won't be fixed in the next 2 to 3 years, honestly. But we'll see what we can get to. This is an LT 1042 Cub Cadet. It is, I believe, complete. It has a Kohler Courage that does not have a cracked block in it, which is a miracle. Just fairly dirty. Hood's a little cracked. This came with that other Cub Cadet right there. And I had a 54-inch Craftsman that kind of looked like this one that y'all saw the hood for a little bit earlier. He said that it supposedly had a bad transmission and it was in parts and pieces. I sold the deck off of it and scrapped the rest of the machine. I saved the hood on it as well, and the engine and any other good parts as the plane comes into land at the airport nearby. The deck on this 1042 is probably what's going to be preventing me from actually getting it all back together, because we are starting to see some rust at one of the mounts down here. Unless I get a good deck or can retrofit another one of the... I think these decks are a little bit different than the standard MTD decks that you find on like Troy-Built ponies and things along those lines. You never know what might come in though. We'll see what happens with that. Again, just assorted tire collections and things along those lines. Oh, we got to get over to the Honda and the Murray here. The Murray looks exactly like that Murray right there. This was a freebie. Guy had parked it after he bought a new mower because I think something happened to this one. Didn't run right or something. It was sitting for a while, and he just gave it to me. I picked it up when I was in the area, and then I'll walk around to that Honda. We'll give a little bit better look with that. This is a HTR 3009 Honda. I have the bagger for it. I wish I had inside space for it, but I don't at this point in time. We'll see if we can get it, because it was, you know, sitting under a deck that was enclosed and dry. I have the bagger, like I said. One of the tires is off the rim. I was told the transmission is bad on it. I believe that, I just find it hard to believe the transmission's bad. I feel like just one of the wheels is missing the axle key on it. Just again, another look at that Murray. Remember when they put like actual legit emblems on machines like this? Pretty cool, right? The lens is a little busted on this. If this doesn't take much to get going, it's again a $300 mower for somebody that's, you know, a cheap mower. We'll see what ends up happening. We'll just go through the other machines here. This inventory has changed a little bit since I've updated y'all last. This machine right here I've had for a couple of years now. I got in a lot of free items from actually near my in-laws a couple years ago. This had a 17.5 horsepower Briggs that had a broken mount on it actually, so I had to change the sump out. I think I threw that engine on another machine. I have a 12.5 that came off of a Yard Machines or a Yardman rider that I sold for parts a while back that I'm probably going to retrofit. Or I've got a 14 horsepower that I need to put a governor in that I may slap on here. Rest of the running gear looks good from what I can tell. It was running and driving and mowing not long before I got it. They said the variable speed pulleys were going bad in it. I just think it needed belts. So engine, belts, general refresh would again make another cheap machine for somebody. This mower will likely eventually get scrapped. This is a Scott 17 horsepower 42 inch I got from my friend Jesus up the road. He gave me this and a couple of other machines, and this one had been parked for a long time. It looked honestly just as bad now, or then when I picked it up, as it does now. I stole the discharge chute for that John Deere LX266. It does have a 17 horsepower first gen Intech overhead valve Briggs in it. And honestly, I just need to scrap that or do something with it. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I bought this mower. It was in pieces. I paid $50 for it. Probably shouldn't even went and got it, but I think I've used a couple of parts off of it. And this was, man, pushing 3 years ago now. So again, this may be on the chopping block to just pull the engine and get scrapped. I'm not sure. Poland Pro 20 horsepower V-twin. I do have the deck for it. It's sitting right there. Don't know what all it needs. Got this in a trade deal. I got that newer Troy-built Pony that had the broken compression release that ended up blowing up after I put a new compression release in it. Yeah, and this came with it as well. I traded a generator for those two items. Not sure what all it needs. Has a broke hood. Maybe we'll get to that one. Probably not anytime soon. One machine I do want to get to sooner rather than later, just because of how good these machines are, is this Craftsman garden tractor. I've probably had this about 2 years now. This has got the old Kohler Magnum 18 horsepower engine on it. So I think it's a 93 model, and it's got the high-low transmission. I do want to dig this out before spring and see if I can get it going. I'm kind of ashamed that I have not gotten this out before now. How I got this, I paid a guy a couple $600. I got a Troy-Bilt zero turn and quite a few other items. Made really good on that Troy-Bilt zero turn. Now, as a result of the Troy-Bilt zero turn, one of the trades I got was this. This is a shaft drive Cub Cadet HDS 2185. It turned over when I first got it. Now I can't get it to turn over. But this is a beast of a machine, and I cannot wait to get this one out to try and see if I can get it fixed. When I got it, he did say it had a massive oil leak right behind the PTO clutch there. I don't know if it's some sort of oil pump or something, cover or something along those lines. And I think that's why he parked it. Again, just trying to turn around machines. I haven't had the time that I've wanted to have to get to this either. Just because, you know, cranking out small lawn tractors is a little bit easier. Let me see if I can whittle my way into the next couple of rows here, and I'll show you what else I've got. So the next one here is the Sabre, manufactured by John Deere. 38-inch deck, 14.5 horsepower Briggs overhead valve. I got this as a trade for, I sold an old heavy rear tine Craftsman tiller to a guy. He was about an hour and a half up from me. I went up there because it was a really good deal. I can't remember what else was part of the deal there. I got a lot of stuff from him for a fairly decent price, and I think I made good on that trade. I've done so many trade deals, I know exactly where I got it from. I just can't remember what all came with it. I'll have to look on my Instagram. It has sat for a while. This is Dad's, and again, it's just been pulled here and I have not gotten to it. I feel like I'm neglecting these sometimes because I want to fix everything and get it back going. I just, you know, it's just me. I don't have any employees or anything like that, and so it's me and the time that I have, and I like to spend time with my wife and family too. So just kind of, you know, what happens sometimes. I hate that this just got vines and stuff growing on this garden tractor. We'll get to that though. I mean, this one's not going to get scrapped, trust me. This one might. I'm not sure if it will or not. This is a Murray. It's got the little bubble nose or something on it. I can't figure out exactly how I would describe it. 14.5, or is this a 14.5 too? Yeah, 14.5 horsepower, 42-inch cut, full of water. So it was missing. I got it exactly like this, so it's not like I've taken parts off of it or anything. This thing had been sitting up in behind somebody's old rotted shed for years and years. It literally was across town, 4 minutes away. The guy who was doing the shed clean out said, "Hey, you want it?" I was like, well, I mean, it's literally 4 minutes away. I'm not gonna just sit there and say no, because I can use parts off of it, or who knows, you may be able to get it fixed in due time. You never know with me sometimes. Craftsman LT3000 I got as a part of what did I bought? I think I bought this and a couple of other machines for like $80. I think that's where the 48-inch deck came from too, so I knew I was going to make good off of it either way. Looking under the hood, it's missing the engine cover, which isn't a big deal. I think this one may actually run and drive with not too much effort. I do want to get it pulled out. I pulled it up here just to hopefully give me a little bit more encouragement to get it going. 6-speed, it's like a 2004 model or something like that, maybe a 2006. Yeah, it's a 06 actually. So we'll see if anything comes about that here in the coming weeks. We'll see what I can get ready before spring. It's a race against time a lot of times. John Deere LA 115. If y'all remember, I did the transmission swap on this because the deck is in really, really rough shape on this. Got a John Deere, what would that have been? It originally started life as an LA 105, but then I had a lot of like D160 parts on it, like a big 54-inch deck and the V-twin, but it had the 5-speed transmission in it. This one had a good hydro. That 5-speed on that other machine was bad, so I did a transmission swap. This is essentially a parts mower because I took the engine and put it on a Cub Cadet. Just because I know that, you know, front end parts are paramount, and even deck parts and stuff for these. Has good tires on it, a lot of good parts, so it's just kind of sitting here. It'll get picked apart and eventually it'll get kicked out. This I got a couple years ago now, maybe 3 years ago. I'm not sure how long I've had this machine. Old Craftsman 2, 12 horsepower, 14 horsepower overhead valve. So this is a newer one, probably like a 94 model. But got this as a lot of items. One of my high school friends was cleaning out his grandparents' house. Got a D105 John Deere. Paid him $250 for it. I think I paid him another $50 to get this. Thought I would have this one turned around. Never have gotten to it. Seems the story for a lot of these here in the backyard. We're not done, guys, if y'all are still with me. Here we go. This is a Yard Machine 638 RL. My plan is to take, I have a deck for it sitting over there. My plan is to take the parts off of these two machines and make them into one good machine, running, driving, and cutting. This one doesn't have an engine. I'm pretty sure I had a Kohler Courage on it originally, but this one's missing a couple of parts and stuff too. It's got 15.5 horsepower Briggs on it. Need to source a gas tank and a couple of other items for it, but this may just be a mower build here at some point between these two machines. Got them in the same spot, like I mentioned earlier. So, and this one right here, I would love to get going as well. When I got it for free, I had worked on it a little bit. It was running and driving at the time that I worked on it, but then it had sat for a while. And so this is a YS 4500 with the 54-inch deck. Somebody swapped the Kohler out of it and put a 25 horse Briggs on it, but has like massively screwed the wiring up. So I have a wiring harness right here, and I actually have a Kohler Courage V-twin, I think this is a 26, wasn't it? That came off of that YS 4500 that I scrapped, that had to believe a bad transmission. And the plan is to, I think eventually we're gonna take, because I don't know, because this thing's like massively leaked oil. I don't know the condition of this engine very much. What I would love to do, it does need a fuel system clean out as well, because there's a ton of trash. It would just suck trash up the fuel filter and eventually clog everything up and wouldn't pump gas anymore. That was, I think, one of the main reasons why it just stopped or had continual issues. So the plan for this is to throw that Kohler on it, I think, unless I can get this Briggs to run good, and turn it kind of back into original, because I know it's got a bunch of pine straw on it. The seat's a little rough. I've got everything around here to rebuild this machine and actually make it look fairly nice again. So I've thought about pulling this one out next after I finish up with the other John Deeres up here, the LT150, or at least the STX46, and maybe a couple of the other 42-inch Craftsmans. We'll see. But all of that wraps up everything here in the backyard of the inventory that I have here. Now we'll go into the lean-to, and I'll show you what all I've got in there. Alright, we're going to get into the lean-to here in just a second. Some of these are machines that are just ready for new homes. and then others are just things that just need to be in dry storage. So this one here is a Yardman push mower. Got for free from a guy who did a shed clean out and just doesn't mess with push mowers. He does the bigger projects, and it's pretty nasty. Put a carb on it, cleaned it up, serviced it. She's ready to rock and roll. 5.5 horsepower Honda GCV 160. This is a customer pressure washer that just needs to be picked up and paid for. Sometimes it takes him a little while to get to me, but I know he'll come back. This is the, you know, if I don't have anything else to cut grass with, this is what I use. This is the fix of the stable, so to speak. The YTA 24V48 Husqvarna. It's got the 3-bin soft bagger on it. This, like I said, will come out if I don't have anything else to cut grass with, because I usually try and test machines on my yard. This thing still ain't even cracked 100 hours. I ain't even put 30 hours on it since I got it 3.5 years ago. Got it for free. Somebody, a realtor, helped me buy my house here, reached out and said, hey, got somebody, it's got a mower, needs it gone, you know, to sell their house, put their house on the market, because this thing was caked in oil and just looked terrible. I brought it home, cleaned it up, looked like new. It's a little dirty now just because it has been used some, but overall still pretty solid machine. I just hate that it has the plastic transmission in it. Just terrible transmission. This one doesn't like pulling hills, changing from forward to reverse. Another reason why I haven't sold it yet is because of that, because I won't really get any money for it, but it works and does the job that I need it to. We will not go through each individual weed eater here, but this is just my 2-cycle horde, so to speak. Probably will clean this out here before long. Got a couple of pressure washers down here. That's my personal pressure washer that I got for 25 bucks. Just had to do a carb clean on, source a hose and things along those lines. Chainsaw I got as a part of a yard sale. Either these pressure washers either don't have pumps on them or blown up, one of the two. That pressure washer frame's pretty rusted. Probably need to pull the engine and put it on a push mower or something. Alright, when we get back here, we'll start very back there, because I can't really get back there very well. That's the John Deere 70. Unfortunately, that one's probably going to be on the back burner for a little while, so I just kind of have it tucked in the corner to hopefully just keep it dry and preserved until I can get to it. That old Dynamark 5 horsepower tiller back there, I got maybe 3 years ago now, 2 years ago now, well, maybe 3. No oil in it. He was about to take it to scrap, and I said, "Oh, I'll take it here," because I bought a riding mower from $100 and got that and another riding mower for free because he was just going to take it to scrap. 3.5 horsepower edger back there, yard machines. It's got the old horizontal style 3.5 horsepower with the square looking diaphragm on it. Just needed that diaphragm, and I needed to lube the pull rope a little bit. Brought it back to life. It's ready for sale. Got it listed for 80 bucks. Swisher edger, or weed trimmer there. Walk behind weed trimmer. I think the bearings are locked up in the actual head itself. So that may just be pull the engine and scrap the rest. Not completely sure yet. We may see if I can get the bearings freed up in the head. Just make sure that the engine spins freely. That's an old 70s model generator somebody from my church gave me. He said, hey, you should try it out. See if you can get it fixed. It does pop off with starting fluid. It probably needs the electronic ignition on it. And I don't even know if I can source a carb for that thing anymore. It's got an old, I think it's got an old Briggs on it, like a 10 horsepower, 8 horsepower, something like that. And we'll see what happens with that. I don't even think about that hardly right now. This right here, I don't even know if I've made a video of it yet. I picked this up for $100. This is a Greenworks Pro crossover 42-inch mower. What happened was, this thing's never cut grass before. It fell off of the delivery truck. And a guy who does scrapping, I guess, got it from Tractor Supply or a guy that he knows. It's got all the batteries in it. I do not have a charger for it. But you see the seat's all jacked. The steering wheel is half missing. What I need to do, everything else on it is basically brand new. Some of the brackets and stuff are broken for the control modules and whatnot. Brand new mower, never cut grass. This is like a $4,000 machine if you bought one new, which is crazy that I only have $100 in it. What I need to do is weld on or figure out something with the steering, because the parts for these are impossible to find. You cannot find parts for these. So what I'm going to have to do is fabricate something for the steering, and then I think a seat, a regular like Craftsman seat, will swap out for that. So that ain't that big of a deal. Discharge chute, not that big of a deal. And then just figure out something with the brackets just to make everything work and not be just flopped around everywhere. And clean off all the red spray paint and probably send this thing, buy a charger for it. Probably have another $200 or $300 in a charger. I'm probably going to get anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500 for it, even with all the broken panels and stuff. As long as it runs, drives, and cuts good, shoot, somebody will buy it, I think, especially with the electric mower stuff. This mower I got as part of a yard sale. Same yard sale I got the weed trimmers from. Just needed a carb, or I don't even know if it needed a carb diaphragm. It did need just a little refreshing. Got it listed for $85. This mower, somebody wanted me to fix it. He brought me two. I fixed both of them. This one unfortunately smokes and surges, and I've tried to fix it. There really ain't no fixing it, unfortunately. So it's being sold as is for $80. Self-propel works, runs and drives. It's a cheap self-propel mower for somebody. This is a Craftsman 6.75 horsepower. I cannot remember. This is, I think, was a part of that huge lot I got a few years ago that the John Deere 14SBs came with. This has the overhead valve Vector Tecumseh engine on it. Had to put a carb on it. And a few other things. Y'all saw what I did on the channel. I have it listed for $100. I think I have it listed for $100. Cheap self-propel mower. Works. Good. This is another free machine. Came with that yard man that I showed you at the beginning of the clip. Shaft is broke off the bottom, so it will need a new crankshaft if this ever runs again. Got all the engines and stuff up there. It may get a new crankshaft. Again, we'll see what we get ourselves into. That's pretty much everything in here right now. Personal Manus tiller over there. And another Manus tiller that came with the same people that I did the repair on the John Deere RX-75 for, and just need to send it back to them. They just live at the beach, so I just have to catch them the next time they are in the area to deliver that back to them. Runs good after I did a carb swap on it. And last but not least, I've done a lot of repositioning of push mowers and things because I'm trying to kind of clean out a lot of that since I haven't done that recently. We're not really going to discuss this very much right now because I have a more detailed video coming out. Just will say that this came as a partial trade for that Craftsman garden tractor, the green one, that you will see get fixed on the channel fairly soon. I don't think that video is released yet. You'll see that in January. A bunch of different assorted push mowers. I'll try and go really quickly through them. Again, I got most of these part of that huge lot a few years ago. This one probably just needs a carb clean. It runs on starting fluid. This one, same thing, most likely. Old Craftsman's, right? Pull rope. I got this, again, partial trade. Came with the two Craftsman LT2000s. Probably just needs a pull rope, carb, putting it back together. We'll see if that's all it needs. Basically blown up. Can't remember where I got it from. Needs a new engine. If I do save it, the front wheels are kind of rough on it as well. These two Tecumsehs, that one has a camshaft issue. That one had a stuck valve when I got it, and I just couldn't get it unstuck. It was really bad, so I think it screwed the camshaft up. This one here was on its last legs. It was smoking heavy and about to blow up. So maybe a camshaft, maybe the camshaft out of this can go into that. I'm not sure. We'll see if I do something with that. It's in here. Maybe it'll give me motivation to get going with it. This one right here ran weird. I could never get this machine to run right. It's like it was a tooth off or something because it was blowing, or the intake valve wasn't seating all the way because it was blowing exhaust gases out the intake and running like ba 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 ba, and just wouldn't run right with the air filter on. So it's currently apart because I took some parts off of it, and I don't know like if that's something I'm gonna try and sort out since I had to break open the engine for that. I do have a lot of engines right here actually that may be donor engines for a few items in here. Like I said, I'm trying to purge out a lot of my push mowers here. I got all the parts off of this Vector Tecumseh that I needed for that Craftsman one, and like air filter covers and stuff. So this engine will probably be trashed. The deck will likely be saved because it doesn't have really any rust in it. One of them old Murray bicycle wheel decks. This engine's got a hole in the side. I got this as, I got 3 self-propel mowers. One of them was a Craftsman M140. Then I had another Troy-built self-propel. I think I got both of them fixed and sold that I got as part of a lot or a trade or something. This one has a huge hole in the side of the engine. Needs to have an engine swap. Maybe one of these two I can get swapped on there and it will be good after that. We'll see. Craftsman edger with the Tecumseh. I fixed one very similar to this earlier in the year. This engine will not pull, so I probably have to pull the head and see if I can get it freed up that way. Just got this for free a couple days ago. 4 horsepower, 20-inch cut Craftsman with the Briggs & Stratton Magnetron ignition. The pull and go. So it's got good compression. It was running this year, but it does have loose, so this shroud came off it, but it has a loose gas tank, so I'm wondering if it's just not sealing very good. I also could have an ignition coil issue. I'll just have to get this cover off. Again, this is like a 70s model, I think. Maybe an early 80s model. I'm not completely sure, but we'll see what ends up coming about there. Last, we got a couple other things to do here. I'll show you the wheel horse last, actually. This machine I paid $15 for, probably $15 too much. It runs though. I did a little carb work to it. Need to sharpen the blade. Got some wheels coming for it. Got the covers and everything for it as well. And got an air filter coming for it. And after that, this and a drive cable coming for it. So I'll probably have about $60 in the mower. If I find a bag for it, it'll probably sell for $140, $150. So we'll make a couple bucks off of that. Last but not least, y'all seen this before, but I finally pulled it out from where that John Deere 70 is currently sitting into here. Wheel Horse 312. It's got the 8-speed high-low on it. This is actually my father-in-law's mom's machine. They had it parked for a while after it had some issues. Really want to get this one going before the spring. We'll see if I can manage that. Guys, I think that's about everything. That tiller is a customer tiller. Runs, drives good. We're going to get it back to him whenever I'm in his area again. But, guys, that's about everything in here. That's a lot of machines, isn't it? I know it's a long video. Some people just really wanted to see something like this. So I figured, hey, let me show you everything that I've got, just kind of as a year-end wrap-up. So those are all of the machines that I know of that are here. I don't think I have any hiding around. I do have a snowblower under the house, but that's it. And a Scott's spreader, old Scott spreader, but apart from all the machines that are lawn and garden related, it's all here, and y'all just saw every single one of them. So if you finished the video up to this point, congratulations, you're definitely one of my loyal followers. We've come a long ways in the 7 years that I've been here on YouTube, starting in that small 900 square foot house that I worked out of my crawl space, worked in the backyard and stored all the stuff in the crawl space, to having all these items. And we'll see what 2024 brings. I really do appreciate all the support, and we've over 8,000 subscribers. We're probably going to hit 10,000 in 2024, which is exciting. We've got Amazon products, a lot of them that y'all don't even see on the channel, so you can check out my Amazon page as well for products that I have reviewed either right here on YouTube or just on Amazon. 80% of the stuff I review is just on Amazon, so and that has proved to be a good income stream for me as well. So we'll see what comes about in 2024. Hopefully this scenery changes quite a bit by this time next year, and I really do appreciate all of y'all watching and for following along all these years. We have a lot of riding mower content coming up in January. Basically the whole first half of January, probably the first 2/3 of January, is straight up riding mowers. A lot of them that you saw at the beginning of this video sitting under that tent, and I really do hope you enjoyed those, and those are usually some of the better performing videos on the channel, so it's really cool. I think that the Craftsman garden tractor one especially is going to be a treat for y'all coming up in the middle of the month. Thanks again, guys, for all the support and for following the channel, and thanks for essentially helping my dreams come true and making this a full-time thing for me. A little bit different than having to report the regular 9 to 5. Have to hold myself accountable, and hopefully I can continue to do that here in the coming years as this business will inevitably grow, hopefully, and I just learn more and more every day. Thanks again, as always, guys, and for watching this vlog, and Happy New Year. I'll catch you on the next one.